Chase away the power of Satan, far away beyond the land and sea. Build for God a boundless kingdom, giving joy and liberty to all. Come, ye people all around the world, let's unite into one, spreading forth the glory of the Father and His great will forevermore. Unite, unite, let's unite into one. Bring about one nation, uniting all the people of the world. Raise the white cross on our banner, high upon Mount Everest it waves. In the blue Pacific waters, cleanse the sword that brought the victory. Come, ye people all around the world, let's unite into one. Now resolve to end the deep resentment of the long centuries past. Unite, unite, let's unite into one. Bring about one nation, uniting all the people of the world. Build a fortress to defend the peace on the great new heaven and new earth. We will all sing hallelujah, great within the bosom of the Lord. Come, ye people all around the world, let's unite into one. Share the joy and glory of heaven, hidden so long from every eye. Unite, unite, let's unite into one. Bring about one nation, uniting all the people of the world. Unite, 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 let's unite into one. Bring about one nation, uniting all the people of the world. All right, thank you. Our second song will be Song of the Garden. Let's really invite God into our hearts, our day, our garden. The Lord into His garden comes, the spices yield a rich perfume. The lilies grow and thrive, the lilies grow and thrive. Refreshing showers of grace divine from the Father flow to every vine, and make the dead revive, and make the dead revive. Oh, that this dry and barren ground in springs of water may abound. A fruitful soil become, a fruitful soil become. The desert blossoms as the rose, when the Savior conquers all His foes, and makes His people one, and makes His people one. Come, brethren, you that love the Lord, and taste the sweetness of His word. In Father's ways go on, in Father's ways go on. richer there. When we arrive at home, when we arrive at home.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Please take a seat. And join me in prayer. Dear most beloved Heavenly Parents, true parents, thank you so much for this wonderful day we can be gathered here today. I pray you can be with us in our hearts and our love for each other, and we can feel at peace and at home here. However our week went, whatever came up, whether we were traveling, working hard, had trials, or had an excellent week, I pray we can all come here together to worship you, take time with you, and take care of each other, and enjoy these few hours that we get to totally focus our time and attention on you. Thank you for being us. Thank you for being here with us this morning, blessing this place so we can feel like things are possible and we can support and love and take care of each other. I offer this day to you in my name, Neil and Teresa Rischel, blessed is your couple, Aju. All right, let's take a few minutes. Everyone can rise. We can walk around, give hugs, handshakes, and let's take a few minutes to greet each other. So before the sermon, we'll have a short recap video that Gloria put together of pictures from what's been happening. We'll have that, and then after that, we'll continue with service.
He's living on the inside, roaring This is where it begins. This is where all the worry ends. This is where I say I don't mean to have control. This is where I admit I don't know how to handle it. Life in all of its chaos, you're my only hope. And all that I have to offer is the white flag of surrender. So take me to the middle of your heart. Lead me to wherever your love starts. To a new day dawn, and to the place you are. And if you wanna take me over the edge, I'll let you, 'cause your love is where I live. Wanna be right where you are, in the middle of your heart. This is what I believe, that if I give you my everything, I will become who I was really born to be. I'll stand up and say it. Yeah, your love is something I can put my faith in. So take me to the middle of your heart. Lead me to wherever your love starts. To a new day dawn, and to the place you are. And if you wanna take me over the edge, I'll let you, 'cause your love is where I live. Wanna be right where you are, in the middle of your heart. I carry it, but now I can let it go. Yeah, I carry it, I carry it, but now I can let it go. Yeah, I can let it go. So take me to the middle of your heart. Lead me to wherever your love starts. To a new day dawn, and to the place you are. And if you wanna take me over the edge, I'll let you, 'cause your love is where I live. Wanna be right where you are.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all, and thank you for being here today. I really enjoyed the video. Thank you, Gloria. Kind of brought some mistiness to my eyes. Just, yeah. There's so much that goes into, we have the beautiful pictures. There's so much that goes into actually making all those things happen, and I'm really proud of our community for so many, not just events, but really the heart that people put into all these events with the hope and vision for the future, a better future than the one we're living in now. That's what inspires me more than anything else. So before I get started, I just want to just share briefly that as many of you saw in the announcements, this is the time of the year where we celebrate a lot of our holy days. These are days that are really like pivotal. They celebrate pivotal moments in the history of our movement, and they commemorate special days that our founders, our true parents, founded. They celebrate. They made God's Day and Children's Day and Day of All Things, and so we're celebrating several of those days today. So I really hope that many of you can stay today to participate in the activities, listen to Dr. Hendricks' talk, and also the Little Angels video is maybe you don't have a lot of experience with Little Angels, but it's a really beautiful group of elementary school children who traveled like this video talks about how they traveled the world, and they shared about they just shared their gratitude being from Korea, a country that was devastated by the Korean War, they just wanted to express their gratitude to all these countries that came together and sent their young men and women to fight for Korea, a country that maybe most of them didn't know or care about, but they went and they sacrificed. And so it's really touching. It's a really touching video. It's very professionally made, and my kids loved it. And so maybe some of your children or adults may enjoy it too, because I enjoyed it, so it's not just for kids. So I just want to introduce my sermon today is God's Greatest Gift. This topic is a very near and dear topic for me. Many years ago, what is many years ago? Many years ago was like maybe eight years ago. I went through a time in my life where I really had let my body go. A lot of my bad habits were catching up to me, and I was starting to find myself gaining a lot of weight and becoming sick very often, and just overall being very maybe discouraged about my ability in the future to be a energetic, thin young man like I remember being when I was younger. And I don't know, sounds like some of you can relate, but I was so grateful because I felt like I received a second chance, and I was able to get into a place where I was much more, I lost a lot of weight, and I got a lot healthier, and a lot of my sicknesses and allergies went away. I just felt like it wasn't really something that I had to put a certain amount of effort in, but I just felt so grateful because when you once you get to a certain point, sometimes it can really be easy to kind of give up on yourself, and nobody wants that to happen in their life, but sometimes we just kind of get to that point without realizing it. And one of the things that I was thinking about when I was preparing for the message today is that we recognize, generally religious people, we recognize that this world, we live and we die, and that's not the end, right? Like, we don't just live and we die and we go into the ground and then, that's it. We recognize that there's a life after. There's an afterlife. There's a spirit world that we call it. But one of the things that I've noticed that many people don't recognize is that the life that we live is a life of preparation for living in the spirit world. There are many people who believe that when we die, we get a new life, or we get a new chance, so to speak, like a fresh slate. But we know from our own teaching that we take into the spirit world, into the afterlife. Well, we don't take our body, we don't take our possessions and our belongings, but we take everything that we are. We take it with us. When we look at life and we look at this world that God created, then we can get a sense, when we really understand the heart that God invested into creation, how much God loves us and how much God has so much hope and vision for our lives. Not just that we live a normal life, but that God, when He created, He didn't just create the world in 7 days. He invested His heart and His love and His passion into creating this universe for us. It took a long, long, long time. When we look at how God created life to be, it's kind of interesting because, God created the angels, right? But God didn't create them to live a life on earth and then go and then pass away and then become angels. He just created them to be the way they are. So even the way that we live our life, even that, we may ask, why? Why do I have to live in this world when there's a better world waiting for me later? Why do I have to live in this, problematic, constricted world where I have to wait in traffic, where I have to watch what I eat, where I have to learn patience and compassion for others? Why do I have to live in this life? Why can't I just live in that better world? So God made it that way. God made it that way for a reason. And it wasn't because he wanted to see us live a difficult life. It wasn't because he wanted to see us have to learn patience for the sake of learning patience. But we learn from our founders, from our true parents, that God made it that way so that we could become like God, in a sense. That we could experience growth and maturity. That we could experience what it's like to have a family. We could experience what it's like to create something. And it takes work, right? One of the things that, I love to actually study about the spirit world. I know that in a lot of religious traditions, it's kind of taboo, to talk about spirits and life after death and things like that. I love how we're so open about that. I love how it's not a taboo topic at all. Not that everyone has the answers, but one of the things that I really enjoyed learning about with a spirit world, not just from our faith, but also from other people who have written about it in books, is that spirit world is not like this world. It's like if you want to see somebody, then you think about it and you're there with the person. But we can't do that. We actually have to decide, I really want to see this person, and then you have to get in your car, and then you have to make or you have to make an appointment with them. Be like, are you busy? Like, is now a good time? Or later? Oh, maybe next week, And then we actually have to go and make the effort to spend time with people. It's a very kind of, it can be kind of tedious sometimes. I remember I've gone to people's homes, and it was a bad time, and I was like, oh, whoops, sorry, I'll leave. But we recognize that God, actually this life is a gift. This life is a gift that God gave us so that we could grow, to learn what it means to be a co-creator, what it means to raise a family, what it means to have children, what it means to take an idea, a passion, a vision that maybe you have, like this, okay, I really want to make this invention, or I really want to make this wonderful dish, this food, this dinner looks so good. I've never made it before, but I really want to create it. So you get this vision about what you want it to be and what you want it to taste like, maybe a cake or something, and then you learn the skills, or you go through trial and error, or you made it once or twice and it didn't work out, it tasted terrible, but then the third time you got it, you grew and you developed, and through that experience you were able to manifest that thing that you wanted to manifest. And it's our opportunity to have that kind of experience that God had, where he had this vision that he wanted to create, beautiful children that had beautiful families, and created a beautiful world that he could call his own, that he could live and dwell with and experience life through. God had this kind of vision, and he invested his whole heart into making it happen. But it's so easy to take our life for granted. I know that for myself in my life, I have taken myself for granted very often. When we look at how life develops, right? We have babies, and we have, all right, let me start over here. Okay, so, when God invested into how life should happen, then, he created this whole, process through where you you develop in the womb, right? In a woman. And you stay there for 9 months as a baby, developing and growing, and you're growing the bones and the tissues and the muscles and things like that. And when, moms have to be really careful, right, when you have a baby growing inside, because we know that, if you eat the wrong kinds of foods, or if you're around too much, smoke or alcohol or different kinds of substances, then it can affect the baby, right? And what happens if the baby is affected in the womb? Then the baby might come out crippled, or it might come out with less potential, or with something. And that affects the person for all their life, right? So it's a really critical time. Moms, really careful that, when they have the baby, they make sure that nothing bad happens to the baby. And one of the things that I found to be really refreshing and constant reminder is about life after this one, is how we're kind of living that life right now. It may not seem like it. It may not seem like we're in the womb, but we kind of are, in a sense. If this is not life, if this isn't the end of life, if we are really destined to go to the spirit world, to go to the afterlife, then we're preparing ourselves for that life right now. And the way that we mature ourselves and develop habits are the things that we take with us to that world. What it comes down to is that our body and our life is actually very precious. Something to really be grateful for. And I know sometimes you may not feel like your body is very precious. You may not look in the mirror. You may not have looked in the mirror this morning and thought, oh I have such an awesome body. I'm so grateful for this body. It's so precious and God's gift for me. It's actually really easy to look at ourselves and feel like, and see all the flaws. We see all the flaws. We see all the things that I wish I could be more of, or maybe I don't like my proportions, or I don't like my face the way it is, or sometimes there's things that we're born with too that we have no control over. I like that I'm half Asian, but for some people they kind of see it as a curse. Sometimes we're born with an illness that we have to live with. We have to tolerate it. We can't do anything about it. I have a couple quotes here. Oh, sorry, I missed that one. There's the baby. So this is from 1 Corinthians. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? This is from our founder, Reverend Moon. Realize how precious the human body is. We cannot trade our physical selves even for the universe. It is in this light that we understand the biblical verse, for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his life? What can a man give in exchange for his life? When we think about things that are really important to us, many of you may not think of your body as being one of those things. We tend to take for granted the things that we always have. And we know our bodies, it's here to stay, not going anywhere. But it's really no different than, maybe it is different, but it's very similar to maybe something else that we really value in our life. Maybe something that really makes it possible for us to live life comfortably. For some of you, it might be your phone. But maybe like something like your car or your home. So a roof over your head, a way to get to work, a way to be able to do the things that you want to do in life. it can be really easy to take those things for granted as well. We had, when we first moved here, we had never taken a trailer before, so we thought, oh, we can just stick this big trailer on the back of our minivan. And that probably would have been okay, but I guess we had a leak, an oil leak in our car. And so we drove that heavy trailer, and we brought it to Denver, and I started to notice maybe a week later, man, the car is running really sluggish. It's really hard to accelerate. It's not really running very well. But I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, well, I'll get it checked out sooner or later. And then fast forward a couple months later, we realized that, and after spending a lot of money on trying to fix patch problems, we realized that we had ruined our engine. We realized that leak, because we were pulling this trailer and it put a lot of pressure on the engine, that the leak, I don't know, maybe it got worse or faster or whatever, but we were out of oil and we were running the car on no oil. And for any of you who've ever done that before, that's the way to ruin your car. Real quick, easy way to ruin your car real fast. So if we ended up having to replace the engine, and it was a real drag. But there are many ways that we can take things that we have that are really important, and I mean, our van was very important to us. You know, we had 3 kids at the time. We needed a way to get around. You know, we didn't really want to have to buy another van, but we didn't know how to take care of it, and we didn't take care of it the way that it needed to be taken care of. We didn't check the oil often enough. We didn't ask for advice. I could have asked for advice when I first started noticing a problem, or before we even left. It's like, hey, I've never pulled this 1,000-pound trailer before. Is there anything I should know? And these kind of things can happen. I remember one time I was with a group, and we were driving a van, and somebody was refilling the gas, and they put diesel in the van. And of course the van takes normal gas, and we couldn't go anywhere. And we have these things that are so important to us, but we have to learn how to take care of them. We have to make sure that we're on top of taking care of them. We have to make sure we put the right oil, the right gas, change the things that need to be changed. Otherwise, if we don't do that, then eventually, no matter how much we may think that these things are important for us, or we may care about these things, they'll break down on us. And so some of you may see the analogy here, or the comparison with the body, right? Our bodies are amazing. They can do anything. It's amazing what our bodies can do. It's amazing what people can do with their bodies. And it's amazing what our bodies can handle, without, and keep going. When I had this kind of a second chance with my health, I really got into, for a long time, I really got into learning about health. I bought all these books, half of which or more I never read, and they went to the thrift store eventually because I was never going to read them. But I was so fascinated by health. I was so fascinated by our bodies, and what the best kind of food was that we could eat, and things like that. And I'm not going to get into that, because I'm not here to convince you that one type of eating is better than another type of eating. But the point is that we have these incredible bodies that are given to us by God, and we need to take care of them. Even if we look in the mirror and we don't really feel like I'm really that inspired about my body, but our body is God's gift for us. And if we really believe that God loves me, and that God wants to use my life for something, then we have to take care of our body, because we never know when God's calling is going to knock on that door. You never know when when the opportunity comes in your life. God is asking us to do something. And I don't really think it matters, like Adonia was sharing last week, how old you are or how young you are. But there's things that God needs. And I believe that we have to be ready for when God's calling comes in our life. And part of that is making sure that we are able to do stuff, and that we're able to live a long life, and that we're able to live a healthy long life, quality of life. We can't give up on ourselves. We can't think to ourselves, oh, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I don't really matter. Because that's inevitably what ends up happening. We tend to think that if we give up on one area of our life, that it's not going to affect other areas of our life. But it always does. If I start thinking, oh, my life doesn't matter to God, it doesn't matter, then then we can see how that might spill into other areas of our life. But I have never seen any inspirational speaker or meaningful religious person who ever tried to convince you that your life didn't mean anything for God. So I would love to be a few inches taller. That has always been a wish of mine, especially when I was young in high school and I was playing basketball, and it really frustrated me, and I kept thinking, well, maybe I'm going to get one of those growth spurts in my 20s or in my late teens where I'm just going to gain a few more inches, but it never happened. But I would have really loved for myself, whether in my genes or whatever, to have been a few inches taller. I'm really lucky that I didn't get my sister's genes, because my sister's about a foot shorter than me. And then I don't think that basketball would even have been a sport that I would have even tried to play. It can be really easy to get caught up in the things that we don't like about ourselves, things that we don't like about the world. And I think it's not a bad thing to recognize, I don't like this about myself. I don't like when I find myself being out of control in my eating. I don't like when I find myself giving up on myself. And many of you know that I personally, just to share this, maybe it gives me a little bit more accountability, started the new year with a determination that I was going to, try to get back to the state of health that I was when we first arrived in Colorado. And I've been really making a lot of effort in that area, but it can be so easy when for me, when I get discouraged in one area of my life, let's say, for example, pastoring, I sometimes get very discouraged. And then I just think, you know what? Who cares about anything? That's what happens for me. Maybe you can take this a lesson for yourself. Maybe you don't deal with this at all. I have no idea. But for me, when I get frustrated or down about or resigned about something that's going on in my life, it really spills over into all other areas of my life. My wife can attest to this. It really spills over into our relationship and my relationship with my kids and my ability to function as like a human being. It all gets affected. So for me, having integrity in all parts of my life, not giving up in one aspect of my life, it means a lot, because when I give up on one, because I'm idealistic, I don't know, but if I give up on one aspect of my life, then it really becomes easy to give up, or at least get easily frustrated about other areas of our life. And so my hope for all of us is that we value our life so much that we, no matter what kind of setbacks or difficulties that we've come up against in our life, shortcomings that we may have experienced, that at the very least, we don't give up on ourselves and we don't give up on those things. I don't think that was ever a part of God's original plan for human beings. We were never intended to live in a world where we give up on ourselves, we give up on relationships, we give up on God. So many people give up on God. So if you find yourself in this situation, maybe you've given up on some things in your life. Maybe you've given up on your health and your body. Please revisit that. I think that one of the things that a few weeks ago I talked about this KonMari method. Maybe some of you remember. It's this Japanese lady made this method for tidying your home. And at first I thought, so I started reading her book and I started watching some more of her material. And at first I thought, well, that's really good, but what about the inside of the person? That's the thing for me. But then I started to realize, actually, for many people, they have this testimony where they changed their home, they changed their environment, and something changed within them. And I thought that was really interesting. So sometimes we make one change in our life and we don't necessarily know how it might change other things in our life, but then we become surprised. We become pleasantly surprised that, well, maybe I have renewed hope in this area of my life, and I find renewed hope in other areas of my life as well. One last thing is that, and I think this is pretty much proven beyond a shadow of doubt, but when you have a car and you let it sit for a long time, you need to drive it every once in a while, right? Otherwise it stagnates and I don't know, maybe rust might develop, or anyway, you don't want to let the car sit for too long, otherwise it causes problems. And likewise with our bodies, we can't let it sit too much. And I sit my body a lot. I'm talking with people and I'm sitting. I'm emailing and I'm sitting. I'm driving and I'm sitting. I'm on the computer and I'm sitting. And I've had to make a lot of effort to get my body moving. And so this might be a great step, and you might need to spend some money. But when something is important, then we can spend money on things, right? Because it's an investment for our future. So in our effort to gain dominion over all things, as we continue the third blessing series, please remember that your life is a part of that. Your life and your body and your environment that can inspire you to have a healthier body is a part of that. God, you're important to God. Your life is important to God. Your body is important to God. Your body is important to God. That's I like that. And we need to take care of it. We need to love it more than we care and love for other things. We don't take it with us to the spirit world, but we take our mindset around it with us. So please join me in prayer. Good morning, Heavenly Parent. I feel so grateful, Heavenly Parent, to be here with all these brothers and sisters. Humbled to be able to hear this message. I pray, Heavenly Parent, that each and every single one of us can remember and be reminded of our value. If we have forgotten even for a minute that you love each and every one of us, that you care and concerned about each and every one of us, Heavenly Parent, then please today, please let us be reminded that our life is precious. Our life is a gift. Our body is a gift. And we really want to take it for a great ride, Heavenly Parent. We want to live a full life. None of us want to give up on any part of our life, Heavenly Parent. And I know that each person's life is so different. There are some people in this room that are dealing with challenges that I will never personally know, and I will never know what that's like. But Heavenly Parent, I pray that because you are our parent, you love us unconditionally, you know each and every one of our lives and each and every one of our circumstances, that we can invite you into our lives, that we can bring you into our decisions, our daily life, and that we can thank you, that we can express our gratitude to you for the life that we've been given. There's nobody in this room who's had an easy life. There's nobody in this room that hasn't had to go through challenges and struggles of some kind. And despite those challenges and struggles, Heavenly Parent, I pray that we can offer our lives up to you, that our life can still be returning beauty for all the investment, all the love that you've shown in each and every one of us, Heavenly Parent. I pray, Heavenly Parent, that each and every one of us, our whole community, can live in their daily lives, in our daily lives, in the remembrance that you love us. You've invested so much into us, and that we are a product of history. We are a product of a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of people that we stand on their shoulders today. I just want to say thank you for our founders, for our true parents, that we could be here today, that we could be celebrating these special holy days, that we could call ourselves brothers and sisters under you, under the common parent. Heavenly Parent, if there are changes that need to be made in our lives, I pray that we can have the strength and that we can support one another to make those changes. I pray, Heavenly Parent, that we can leverage the power of a community to make transformation happen in each person's life. That we can really look at each other as brothers and sisters and support one another on life's difficult journey, Heavenly Parent. That we can get through this life not just to survive, not just to get by, but growing in love, so that when we get to that spirit world someday in the far distant future, that we can live in that world with ease and with love, and that we can be close to you and we can be close to one another, Heavenly Parent. I thank you for this day, for this message. Thank you for being here in our small community. I pray for your blessings that it can become bigger, that we can bring more people into this family, Heavenly Parent, that we can each care and love one another, take care of one another. I offer this prayer in the name of Michael and Adoni Hendrick, a blessed Central family. Amen and Aju. Thank you so much, everybody.
I just want to say, yesterday, me and a few people, but Pastor Mike especially, went down to Colorado Springs, and we worked all day. So all day yesterday, he was totally serving members of our community, and I think a big reason for that, him being here today, is that he's healthy and he puts a lot of effort towards that. And he still made time to get all the slides ready, to prepare the sermon, to do so much. And I know he's a really humble guy. I just want to be like, but I feel like when someone goes beyond themselves, takes their whole Saturday, prepares all this stuff, it really deserves a big round of applause. So please, he's working so hard. Give him a big round of applause. He's doing a lot. And it's really true what he said about being healthy. This past year, I had a complete transformation. I lost about 50 pounds, and it's completely transformed and made a huge difference in my life, in my marriage, and I've seen so many people have amazing transformations. So if anyone would like to have a conversation about health, I'd be happy to talk with you. It's one of the best things you can do spiritually, mentally, physically for your life. So thank you so much. It was an amazing sermon. Now let's take a few minutes. We can pray, meditate. We'll have the tithe come down, and let's just take a moment for silence. All right. With no one else, we'll go through the national.
Hey everybody, Milhan Stevens here with your weekly update. Let's start with some news from True Parents' birthday.
I am here Chongshim Peace World Center, our true parents' birthday celebration. Today, with the international leaders and brothers and sisters around the world, over 25,000 people.
The spirit was so rich and warm, and the presence of True Parents was felt throughout. Many of the images we saw, the music, the Hyojeong culture, and of course our True Mother when she entered. It was truly a celebration of heaven and earth together.
We had a wonderful performance of We Dream of Hyojeong by our young second generation. It was full of energy and full of heart. It was such a beautiful experience to behold.
It's my first time to present in front of True Mother, really directly dancing, and it's really a dream come true.
We also saw the Universal Ballet perform Sleeping Beauty, the classical performance that was done in such beauty and color and magnificence.
It was a wonderful, wonderful event and celebration. And once again, happy birthday, True Mother and True Father. And thank you and God bless you.
From February 18th to the 22nd, tribal messiahs from all around the world gathered at the Chunna camp in Korea for the Heavenly Tribal Messiah Academy workshop. During the 4 days, the participants could share ways tribal messiahship has been working in different parts of the world. Through lectures, sharing testimonies, and a pilgrimage to the Chunjeong-gun, they could connect deeply and learn from each other's successes.
Hi everyone, this is Tom McDevitt. We're here at the National Assembly Building in the Republic of Korea. We were here 2 years ago and launched the concept of IAPP, and in 2 years it's grown in over 80 countries and over 4,000 parliamentarians. They're getting activated and organized by region and by nation, and today we're going to hear a number of presentations, especially from a group of representatives from different regions in the world.
The purpose of the IAPP and IAPD is to bring the various leaders in world religions and political fields to work together for peace. Building on the lessons learned from this conference, these parliamentarians and religious leaders plan to implement best practices in their cities, countries, churches, and political organizations, all towards fulfilling the goal of creating one family under God.
So hello, we just had our YSP inauguration of America here in Clifton. YSP stands for Youth and Students for Peace. It's an organization that True Mother established last Foundation Day with the vision and hope that young people around the world can really create a new culture of Hyojeong, of filial piety towards God and True Parents and their own parents. Personally for me, what really resonated with the vision of YSP is what Naokimi Ushiroda shared on 3 key things on the purity education, service work, as well as cultural exchange and arts and performances. And especially the purity education, not just about sexual purity, but really the purity of the heart as we want to raise a new generation, create a new culture of Hyojeong, to really cultivate our child's heart and to have the sincere offering and give back to God and True Parents for everything that they have done for us in the world.
The Women's Federation for World Peace International invites you to join the 2018 Horizon Summit, an intergenerational program dedicated to fostering peace leadership. The first day of the program will include capacity building sessions that will convey skills, strategies, and insights related to peace leadership.
I'm here now at the Horizon Summit as part of CSW 61, and we've had some really great talks from amazing speakers to come together with other passionate people with lots of love, really can create great change and a great movement.
On the second day, participants will have the opportunity to choose from one of 4 tours. Our most popular tour is to the FDR Presidential Library to learn about Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt's contribution to the founding of the UN.
We saw where Mrs. Roosevelt wrote the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. To see that she initiated the United Nations is just amazing.
Join WFWPI President Yana Moon and other women leaders of all ages for the 2018 Horizon Summit, held in conjunction with the UN Commission on the Status of Women. For more information, visit WFWP.org, and we hope to see you there.
We have had such a wonderful Holy Day season that is winding up next week with Foundation Day. We wanted to take a moment to give a special thank you to all those who have already contributed to this special gift to our true parents. For those of you who would like to contribute to this gift, you can go to familyfed.org, click the donate button, or better yet, go to your local church on Foundation Day and offer it there. Thanks again for all of your special offerings. God bless.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching. God bless and have a great week.
All right, wow. Uh-oh, there we go. Good morning. I'm just going to kick off the announcements, but first, all of the kids, can go to Sunday school, except for David's class is going to be here in the service today. He's not here, but all the other kids are going to be dismissed to Sunday school. And I'm just going to start with our first announcement. As Mari just mentioned, we've had a couple of major holidays in the last couple weeks. We have one more coming up this next week. And there we go. But today is how we're going to celebrate as an entire community. You're still welcome to come for pledge service for Foundation Day this week. But today we're going to celebrate by having a potluck. So thank you to everyone who's brought food to share for lunch. We have a really great presentation on Reverend and Mrs. Moon's life, which will be at 12:30 in the French Ministry Room. And this is going to be given by Dr. Hendricks. So, and whether you've heard about their life before or not, I think it will be really deep and really insightful. And also, there's just a lot to gain from that. So I encourage you to attend that. And meanwhile, for families, children, we're going to be having a couple of activities, really fun games, probably down in the cafeteria. And after that, we'll have a Little Angels video put on up here. So after we're done with our activities, you can come and watch that. And the one special activity that I would like everybody to participate in is we have this beautiful picture. And I would like, after service today, whether it's during lunch, after lunch, before lunch, sometime between lunch and Dr. Hendricks' presentation, I would like everybody's handprint to go on this picture. And then we'll be able to put it up on the wall or in the Sunday school room. And I'll have paint. We'll make it not too messy, but please don't pass it by. This is, I think, is a really great way to say this is our community, this is our diversity, this is our world. And won't it be cool to look back in 10 years and be like, we could put everybody's handprints on one poster board? That's crazy. So yeah, please participate in that. Please enjoy and celebrate well today. And I'm going to turn the announcements back over to Neil.
Thank you, Pastor Adonia. Okay, the next announcement is the marriage course. That's going to be on March 2nd. I actually attended it. It was a really great experience. I had a wonderful time. And this is going to be our final session. And if you'd like to come, hear testimonies, it's also a potluck dinner. So any married couples that like to attend or see what it's about, I really encourage you guys to come. I had a wonderful experience. There will also be, on March 11th, after service, there'll be a special presentation by Roger Fear to finish off our series of the Third Blessings. He'll show many of his own personal experiences, beautiful pictures, and it'll be here at 12:30 here in the chapel on March 11th. Also, many of you know Krista Smith, who is Jazz's and Megan's daughter. She is currently attending school in University of Bridgeport, is also a good friend of mine. And she's organizing with Women's Federation with very high-level speakers, which is awesome. There's 2 doctors that'll be speaking, so can we give her a round of applause? If you know her, please send her thank you or congratulations. It's really awesome, and she's a really wonderful young lady. Also coming up on March 25th, we'll have a special music service by musicians Sarah Ide and drummer Sean Garrison. The entire service will be focused around music, so if you're really into that, or even if you're not, just please come check it out, experience it, and we'd really invite you all to attend that. There'll be also an invite by email and by the Facebook event page. Cooking. which is something I love to do. We're looking for volunteers, so if anyone would like to make the meals for service, we need them for the March 18th, 25th, and June 3rd. So if you'd like to sign up, please do that. Let the pastors know so we can have a good rotation system. And the last announcement, the Bruner family is cooking and cleaning, so please give them a round of applause, tell them thank you. Really, really appreciate anybody who cooks or cleans in the house. We appreciate it.